Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Real Show, celebratory interviews where we're talking to people who are creating and growing and accomplishing things this year in the middle of a pandemic with all kinds of things going on. We know this has been a year and it is all the way different than what we thought it would look like, and yet people are doing amazing, amazing things. And we want to celebrate that. We want you to know that you can do it. Hey, I need to know that I can do it. Let's do it together. Let's celebrate those who are doing it as well. And I'm so excited about my guest today because she is an accomplished author. She is the head of the Queens for Life social media segments, and she does so much more. Y'all give it up for Dr. Jackie Gilbert-Grant.
Uh,
Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you joined me today.
oh gosh, thank you for allowing me to be here. I am so excited about this show. I'm excited about what you're doing and being in radio for so long. And I applaud you as well through the pandemic for keeping all of us informed and enlightened. That is a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I so appreciate that. I've heard a lot about you via social media through Bernice Loman, who is an amazing marketing strategist and does so many things. And I'm so grateful that I get to meet you in person. This is our in person in this new normal.
Exactly, exactly.
So, for those who might not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm a bishop. I'm a bishop in the Lord's Church. I have been consecrated a bishop since 2015.
Wow.
And I'm the pastor and founder of Sanctuary of Praise Christian Assembly and a part of the PCPC right there that started in Orlando, Florida. So that's where my bishopric is being in operation. So I give the Lord thanks for what he's done. He has allowed me to write some amazing books, but my latest one is When the Water Breaks. And we talk about in the water, when the water breaks, about from conception to delivery, how to prepare yourself for birthing those dreams and fulfilling those purposes that God has put in our lives. So we are excited about that book because that book just went global and
Wow.
during the pandemic, and we're excited about where God is taking that. It is like a manual. If you
Mhm.
use it, you will be able to go from point A to point Z and deliver a remarkable product, or deliver that passion that God has put on the inside of you. And of course, during the pandemic, I had the dream, if you will allow me to say, that about body oils in our skin and things of that nature. And thus we birthed a product called Jazuri. And I am excited about Jazuri brand.
Okay. Okay. We might need to drop a few links at the end of this to know how we can get this book and how we can get some of these oils and things for your Jazuri brand. So, is that what we're celebrating this year, or what are we celebrating that you've accomplished in 2020?
Well, I'm celebrating basically the Jazuri brand. I'm celebrating that because that is the one that just came through. That's my passion for 2020, and it's just amazing how it came to be.
So, tell us a little bit about how it came to be, because this is kind of one of those new markets, especially like a lot of people are trying new things this year. We've been quarantined and we haven't been in the sun as much, and so our skin is doing different things. At least I know mine has. And so,
All
tell
of
us
us.
a little bit more about the brand and how it came about.
Oh, okay. Well, the brand came about by I had a passion for perfume, put
Mm,
it on the shelf and did not do anything with it. And the Lord woke it up in one of my friends and counterparts. And she said, um, are you thinking about some oils? And I knew that she didn't know that because I never talked to her about it. So
Mm.
while we're in the kitchen, we're experimenting with oil, and we started putting things together, and from there we began to develop different type of oils that we were putting on our skins, and we noticed the difference and the changes in our bodies. So we began to look at it and say, hey, I think we got something here, and thus the Zuri brand was birthed right there in the kitchen, right there in the kitchen. In fact,
Wow.
we are we have launched it, and we launched it from the kitchen. And it is going into the homes of many, many people, and we're so excited about it.
That is exciting. So, did you see yourself doing any of this at the beginning of the year?
Absolutely not. I was on a book tour. I was on a book tour for When the Water Breaks. In fact,
Mhm.
when I came in from London, I uh, I was headed to Mexico. And when I was headed to Mexico, they said we needed to shelter in place.
Oh, wow.
Well, needless to say, I had to cancel the book tour. The next stop was London. I mean, was Mexico, and I had to cancel that, and I had to cancel all of the other places that I had for the book tour. So I'm sitting home thinking, okay, this pandemic will be over by the summer. So, I'm thinking I'll pick back up during the summer and we'll start
Right.
the book tour again. And
Right.
needless to say, Jazuri brand started brewing. And in the midst of that, okay, we are birthing another product, another dream that and for being fulfilled. And oh, girl, I'm telling you, it just got wonderful. It just got wonderful from there.
And I think that's the great thing about this year, that even in the midst of all of the things, all of the everything that has happened this year that has really changed what we thought life should look like dreams are being birthed, things are that we never thought of at the beginning of the year are coming forth. And that's really the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, because we needed to showcase that, and we also needed to celebrate it, because there's so much other stuff going on, so many other things going on where we could really get down in the dumps about things.
Mhm.
But if we start to celebrate each other and what we're doing and accomplishing and growing, then we can find the hope that you know somebody might have lost hope and they just need that little bit of encouragement, like, hey, somebody else did something, they accomplished something that they didn't even imagine at the beginning of the year. So that's like the greatest thing that I realize about this year
This
is that
it is. It was. I shared with someone else, and I said the same thing that you just said. That the pandemic, we it was terrible. It was a terrible thing to come upon
right.
the people,
Hmm.
but it also gave us time to slow down and
Hmm.
really think about what we are doing and how we can better accomplish it. And a lot of people have accomplished some great things during this pandemic.
Absolutely. So in your quest with Jazuri and creating this product, what was your greatest hurdle and how did you overcome it?
Oh, I think my greatest hurdle was not being able to fully share what was going on. I kept this a secret for a long time because I did not have the uh, best way of distributing the product. I knew the
Okay.
social
Hmm.
media was there, but trying to get it distributed to not just my local area, because I really felt in my heart that it was more than just my local area. We are taught to dream big. And
Right.
so when I saw what was happening, I saw global, like, once again, even
Hmm.
not only for my book, but I saw global simply for my product that I was sending forth. So I started thinking, how can I get this global? So the greatest hurdle was trying to get people across the pond and everywhere else to know and recognize that the Jewelry brand was being birthed.
Yeah, that is really something, because again, you're creating something and you want to make sure that you have the systems in place to be able to impact everyone
Exactly.
that you saw when you were in your kitchen putting things together.
Yes.
So, um, in your process again, what did you learn about yourself through this process of creating?
Well, one of the things I did learn, and by me being a bishop, I'm going to come from the scripture. One things I did learn, and I never uh, probably did not think it would come to pass in this manner, is
Mhm,
that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I really learned that. I mean, there we quote those scriptures and we say
mhm,
those things, but when they really start happening, you realize I can do this. And that was the key. I had not a clue how to mix oils and blend oils and bring that together, and still never been to school for it. I had a chemist. He came in when I started sharing what I was doing. He
mhm,
came in and he uh, looked at my formulas and looked at how I had things blending, and he began to share a little bit of insight. But basically, I did it. And that's what made me feel real proud about it, is because I did it. And it came through as if nobody did this but me.
mhm.
And that's important when you're trying to get something accomplished. You want to be able to say, this is what I did.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? The scriptures, I think, because we've had to slow down and kind of take a step back, scriptures that have just become almost rhetoric, if you've been in church at any for any length of time, are now really we're getting it. Like it's not just, we believed it, you know, and
Exactly.
we did at some level, but now they're
Uh-huh.
like really like in our face. Listen, I can do all things. I can create something that I didn't even know anything about when I
Ooh,
started this. I can, that dream that God gave me is really coming to pass because I'm doing the things that he told me way back when, but I tabled it and life happened and all of the things. And now we're kind of stepping in and walking in what God has called us to do. Even the things that we didn't think were like higher on the list. We're like, okay, well, no, we'll get there. They're part of the process. They'll come eventually, but we've got all of these other things. We've got, you know, being in ministry and doing other work, writing books and all of these things that are also great. But this year God is just like, the the buzzword is pivot, and I almost think it's more than pivot. I don't know what it is. It's paradigm shift, something greater than just
turned it around.
right, right. So to show us that he can work in and through us in so many different ways, and that
Exactly.
ministry can look different than what we thought it could be. Because who knows who might buy the Missouri brand and you know be touched in some way just because they received the oil, and they might not have ever heard you preach a sermon or even know that you're a bishop, but they've received your product, and now they know they found some other kind of hope through receiving your product. And that's the other thing that I've kind of learned this year is that ministry can happen in so many different ways, in
Different.
ways that we
Yes.
didn't conceptualize before. We were
Hmm.
so focused on, you know, there's digital ministry, we can watch things online, but it was just like, okay, but I can go to the building. Now that we can't,
Exactly. Uh-huh.
and we can't, touch people like we used to, and we can't, talk to your neighbor like you used to.
Yeah.
I,
Tell your neighbor.
right. We have to like look at reaching people in a different way. And sometimes that way is through creating a product, through doing a podcast, through, just all of the ways that have been created in this year.
Yes.
So that really is awesome that you learned that about yourself, that you really can do all things
Hmm.
through Christ who gives you strength.
Gives me the strength. Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
and that's also good hope for somebody else who might be watching. But
Hmm.
before I go into my little spiel about that, I want to ask you uh second to last question. What encouragement could you give to someone who is experiencing this year?
Experiencing what hardships or experiencing
Just
lack.
No, the experiencing 2020, just all of the
Okay,
ups
everything
and
about it. Okay. Well, to hang in there, to believe that uh, after we've gone through this, we are going to come out established. We're going to come out strengthened, and we're going to come out settled. And God is perfecting some things in us that we will, when 2021 rolls around, we will be ready to go forth. Because while we were in, even though we may have been going through financial hardships and things of that nature, our biggest thing is to have enough faith in God and allow God to have faith in you
Mhm.
that, hey, you're going to be okay. If you trust him, you're going to be okay. And that which God has already impregnated you with, I promise you, you shall birth it. It will not be stillborn. It will not be come out deformed in any kind of way, but it will come out perfectly, just like God planned it, if you believe. You got to hang in there, because just as a pregnant woman, sometimes she does go through some problems during the labor time, or problems even during the actual pregnancy. But when it comes time for labor, if she would just push and make sure it comes out, and it comes out okay, I got a feeling that everything is going to be all right.
I feel like I need to lift my hands or something on that one. I love that. That is great. That is great encouragement because, with all of the things that have gone on this year, just hanging on in there and knowing
Yeah.
that if we keep on keeping on, everything will work out. That is amazing encouragement for the people. So, last question: how can people find out about you, all that you do, your books, your Jazuri? Is there a website or social media we can follow?
Sure. We have the Jazuri brand website. That's www.jazuribrand. That's JZURI brand.com. And you can go there and see everything about Jazuri, all of the different type oils that we do have, and you can make your purchases there as well. We are also on Facebook, and again, it says Jazuri brand. You can find us on Facebook, and you can also find us on Instagram. We are there as well. And then if you're just trying to find me, you can find me at Bishop Jackie Gilbert Grant on Facebook, and I'm Bishop Jackie Gilbert, Dr. Jackie Gilbert Grant on Instagram. So you can really find us all over the place. I have a Dr. Jackie Gilbert Grant page as well on Facebook. So there's no way you cannot find me. And if you find me, you will definitely find the Jazuri brand.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gilbert Grant, for being with us and sharing about your books and your brand and all this going on. We will definitely make sure to follow you and check you out.
Thank you.
And just want to say thank you to all of you who've tuned in today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let the people know that we're doling out hope over here and sharing great stories of people who are creating, growing, and accomplishing things. And until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Bye.